So guys, good morning. Welcome to the Friday, March 17th version of the Freedom Friday Zoom. We are going to take a couple minutes because this is the final really weekday of the first quarter. The very next weekday that we encounter, not work day, tomorrow for a lot of people, tomorrow will be a work day as it is a train more week and they'll be putting the finishing touches on their big weeks. But it's the last weekday. The next weekday we come to is going to be Monday. That's going to be the 20th. And it'll be Q2. Guys, can you believe that 25% of our year is almost over? Will be when this week's over. And so one thing we want to do is make sure that going into next week that we have a plan, that we have a roadmap, so to speak, of success. And guys, here's the thing. Anybody ever gone on a road trip vacation with their family? Anybody out there ever? Okay, cool. I see a hand out there. So yeah, guys, what Jason, on that road trip that you went with your family, when did you guys map out your route to get to your destination? I think Jason's looking for the mute button. I think the answer he's trying to say is before they left, right? Yep, he's shaking his head right there. If anybody out there has an answer and can help Jason and is not muted, when do you route out your trip? Do you do it after the trip's over, or do you do it in the middle of the trip, or do you do it before the trip starts?
Before the trip, good sir.
Yeah, why, Rylan, would you want to map out your trip before you leave?
Because you can arrive at the destination. You can't get to the spot you're trying to go without knowing where you're going.
Yeah, if you don't route it out until like you're halfway done with your trip, if your goal is to get to LA, and you're driving and you're just a couple degrees off, you could be on your way to Seattle, Washington. They're both west, but one of them is a little further south, one of them's a little further north, so you could be way off. And if you've only got a couple weeks for this trip, and you find out halfway through the trip that you are 1,000 miles off course, you might not ever make it to LA, right? You might not have enough time to reroute and get back. So you want to be on the right route from the jump, right? From the get-go. How do you do that? You map out your trip first, right? You'd want to probably get on I-40 for the majority of the trip. You wouldn't want to be going on another interstate that's further north of that. Guys, hopefully you're following along in this analogy. The second quarter, and any quarter in our business, and any week, is a lot like a destination. It's a trip. If your destination in the second quarter is to write $50,000 of premium, let's say, okay, you wouldn't want to wait until week 7 to put down some goals to get to 50,000, because if you're sitting on 12,000 halfway through, you might lose a little bit of hope and realize, my gosh, I've only written 12,000. How am I going to write 38,000 in the last 6.5 weeks? That's not very realistic. And then some people would give up on their goal and just phone it in and lose a large chunk of their year. So guys, I want to talk to you about planning out. Guys, if you would plan out your 1 week vacation, okay, wouldn't it make sense to plan out the next 13 weeks of your career to ensure that you can afford to go on a vacation this summer, right? Other than one of the free ones that Family Heritage will give you if you do what you're supposed to be doing. So, guys, let me share my screen here with you real quickly. And I want to show you a couple of pieces here, a couple of tools that we have. All right, and let's get rid of that. So, guys, this is what's called a VPF. Hopefully, everybody has been filling in their personal numbers for the quarter. So this is what the personal ones. Where I focus on my BPF are the team. So I have and guys, if you are someone that wants to be in leadership, whether you are or not, you should probably still have some team goals. We're going to focus more on the personal goals right now. But for me, I've got goals in really 3 different categories: submitting agents each week, my plan, and then right along next to it is the follow through. Right? VPF stands for vision. You need to first have a vision for what you want to accomplish. The plan is getting that vision out of your head and putting it onto paper, or on a spreadsheet. And then guys, the follow through is doing the controllable activity that it takes to achieve the plan that you set. Okay, vision, plan, follow through, VPF. So I've got my plan for every week. The goal for the submits for this week is 26. Okay, it's going to take a whole lot of folks, and as a result of that, I know we've got about 17 on the board so far. So I'm going to be shaking the trees, calling up every agent that's not on the board so far this week, and talking to them about doing so before the week's over to help us hit that goal. We have a goal of 88,950 this week. Right now, we're sitting on about 60,000. So we need a strong finish. We're about 2/3 of the way there, but we need to have a really strong Friday and a really strong Saturday in order to achieve that. And then our goal is to have 2 recruits. Well, we had 4 people in Sales Academy this week and another person from a previous week that hasn't yet submitted. So we should have at least 4, maybe 5 submits this week and blow past that one and hit 20 recruits for the quarter, which would be great. So those are so guys, what I want to draw your attention to is in each quarter, you have 3 tabs down here at the bottom. Okay. You have Q2 personal, Q2 CFI, and Q2 team. The personal, that's your personal goals, right? That's going to be your hours, your demonstrations, right? Your premium, your career conversations, and your number of referrals. Those are the 5 things that you should be tracking each and every week, have goals for and track every single week. And guys, you want to make sure that at the end of each week, you're plugging in your hours and your demos, right? You can plug those in on Saturday or Sunday whenever your week is completely done. And then the following Tuesday, when the numbers come out, that's when you want to have your NAP, your career conversations and referrals, and plug all that in. Okay. So I want to draw your attention real quickly to Q2 CFI. Guys, that stands for cash flow and income. CFI stands for cash flow and income. And in order to get that, guys, you need some basic personal metrics. There are 5 categories you need metrics in. Okay. 1, you need your contract level. You need your first year commission, and then you need, for this individual, it's 50%. You need your renewal, which this person is 3%. And as you can see here, right next to that, it says enter the following based on your renewal contract: 1%, 0.09, 2%, 0.18, 3%, 0.27. So this person has a 3% renewal, so we enter 0.27. This person's average transaction. Okay, so for this individual, it is $1,002 is his average transaction. So we're going to plug that right in there, 1,002. Person that we're using here is none other than our very own beloved Mr. Josiah Carr. So really proud of him. Then you want to use closing percentage. If you look over here at closing percentage for demos, his closing percentage is 27.6%. So we'll go back to here and put in 27.6, enter. That rounded up to 28%, okay? And then you want to do hours per demo. How do you find that out? Go back to your canvassing chart, take total hours worked, 446, divide that by total demos given, 228, and you get a 1.95 hour to demo ratio. So let's go back and plug that in. 1.95. Okay. Guys, looking at, for those of you that have done this before, looking at these metrics, what looks good and what looks like it might need a little bit of work?
Hours for demo, it might need a little work.
Okay, Chad, thank you for that. Hours per demo might need a little work, meaning, guys, when we figure out the amount of demos Josiah needs to hit his goal, he's going to need almost 2 hours for every demo. So if there's a week where he needs 30 demos, he's going to need to work 60 hours. Does that make sense? So 30 demos is very, very doable. We should be doing that. 60 hours is probably a lot of hours for a normal week for most people. There are some folks out here that don't mind putting in 60-hour work weeks, but for most people, that's a little bit high. So if we get that down to 1.5, then you'll be able to get 30 demos in just 45 hours, saving you 15 hours of life. So that's good. The closing percentage, guys, I'd say is spot on, 28%. That's pretty solid. Yep, we can always improve on that, but that's a little bit better than 1 out of every 4 presentations. And the average transaction, company average is $1,000. So he's right there, spot on with that. So guys, now that you have this data, and all of you guys have access to this through going to your individual canvassing chart. How do you find that? Log in as yourself, go to reports, okay? When you click on reports, the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh button down is canvassing chart. Click on that and then click run report. And you'll get your canvassing chart. It'll have all 3 months so far this year broken down every single week. And I encourage you guys, look for trends in here too. Be a professional. See when you have a big week, what did your hours and demos look like that week? What did you have going on? Did you have a big enrollment? Okay. If so, you might want to get really good at setting up enrollments. Okay. Because a lot of people that do the big sales have a lot of enrollments set up. Not every 100% of the time, but a lot of the time. But you scroll down to the very bottom and you have all of your combined totals for the year. The more year we have go by, the more data you have to support. But hour to demo ratio is just total hours, left bottom, divided by total demos, which is in the 5th column. Your average transaction is right about 2/3 of the way over to the right. Just go all the way to the bottom. His is 1,002. And then 2 columns over, demo closing percentage, 27.63 or 28%. All right. That's where we get the data from. So now that you have this data, guys, let's say that Josiah has a goal. Let's say it's next week, he wants to cash flow $2,000. Okay. And let's say that is for down payment, because he and Lydia are looking at purchasing a new home. Get excited. That's pretty cool. They're I believe they're under contract right now. So looking at that, based on Josiah's $2,000 means he would need to sell, based on his average average transaction, he needs 6,667 based on his 50% commission, because 6,667 times 50% is 3,333 times a 60% advance is $2,000. Okay. Based on his $1,002 average transaction size, that tells him he needs 6.7 transactions. So he'll need 7 families protected. Okay. In order for him to get 7 families protected at 28% closing, that's 24 demonstrations needed. And in order for him to get 24 demonstrations, in order for him to get 24 at an hour, 1.95 hours per demo, he needs to work 47 hours next week to get 24 demos, to protect 7 families, to write 6,667 of premium, to cash flow $2,000 for, why? Down payment on his new home. That's probably the most important part right here, is what's the significance of that? So I would encourage you guys to be sure, as you're filling these out, fill in the significance of your income each week. Now, guys, I'm going to wrap up on this note, and then we got 2 minutes for some questions if anybody has any. But over here to the far right, guys, there's actual wealth created. And guys, this is where we've all heard the saying, you can't see the forest for the trees. That means, guys, we can get so stuck in the minutia of every day. Sometimes it can be hard to remember the big picture and what we're building and what we're doing each week actually does. Because when Josiah, guys, goes out and puts in a 47-hour work week, puts in 24 demos and sells 6,667 a premium, again, he might see $2,000 direct deposited in his checking account. But guys, that's only the tip of the iceberg. That is less than half of his actual income. How is that, you might ask? Well, guys, remember, $2,000 is a 60% advance on his first year commission. The back end 40% is going to come. Okay. When's it going to come? It's going to come as the client makes their 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th payments. Okay. That's called delayed gratification. It's going to come. He's just got to be here. He's got to stick and stay and make it pay. So his total first year commissions, with the average cancellations factored in, because there will be some drop off, would be $2,733 of total first year commissions. Okay. Guys, $6,667 of premium sold this week. on a 3% lifetime renewal, that will create an additional $1,800 of residual income over the next 19 years, roughly 2 decades. Okay. Just because that money's not in your account tomorrow doesn't mean it's not there. Guys, I'm here to tell you, after being here 21 years, renewals are absolutely real. And guys, if you stick around this business long enough and do the right things and learn the basics and stick to the basics, because anybody that's seen my demo in the last year will tell you it's kind of boring. It's just the sales talk. You know why? Because it works. But that's another $1,800. $1,800 of renewals combined with $2,733 of first year commissions means when Josiah goes out and sells 6,667, he's actually made $4,533 of wealth for his family. I say family because he's getting married, and something tells me that by the time that whole $1,800 of 19-year renewals are paid out, he's probably going to be a dad too. Might even have a teenager or two running around by then. So, guys, I just wanted to take a moment and make sure that we all understand how to use this awesome tool that we have to help us build our business. So you would take these numbers from your CFI tab now and just go to Q2 Personal and just transfer them over. Okay, so 47 hours, 24 demonstrations is the plan. The premium is 6,667. His career conversations, he wants to be having at least one of those a day, so 5 of those per week minimum. And he wants to be, I know, picking up at least 5 referrals per day at a minimum, which is 25 per week. If that can, there we go, 25 per week. So guys, and you just rinse and repeat. You do that for all 13 weeks, and then you have a very specific, detailed game plan for your entire quarter. And now, guys, all that's left to do is just like if you were on a trip, is check your map. Check your map every 100 miles or so to make sure that you're still on the right course and still heading in the right direction. Once a week or twice a week, we should be checking our map, checking our VPF, plugging in, hey, did we hit our hours? It's Saturday morning. Do I have my 47 hours? Nope, I've only got 43. Well, guess what? You probably should do. What should you probably do, guys, if you really want to hit your goal and you're uncommitted to it, and it's Saturday morning and you're sitting at 43 hours for the week and your plan was 47?
Work more hours.
10 hours on Saturday.
Yeah, you should put in your last 4 hours, right? Go get your last 4. That is the most controllable goal, guys, that we have is our hours. Second one is demos. Guys, see more, sell more. You do your demos, you're going to hit your premium. Numbers never lie.
All right.
So,
I love you.
I love you too. So, guys, do we have any questions out there? This is a great time to ask before we wrap up. I promise if you have a question, 10 other people have the same question. They're just nervous to ask it. And leaders, if you know that one of your agents probably has a question or something that they need to hear the answer to, feel free to ask it for them.
I have a quick question, Van. I'm looking at the VPF that you have on the screen now, and I see for May and June, train more weeks. Is that every quarter or is that only in the first quarter?
Yeah, so train mores happen once a month. So that this is in the second quarter, and the train mores in the second quarter are in week 18, week 21, and week 25. Yep.
Got it.
The train mores in Q1 were week 3, week 8, and then this week, which is week 13. But they happen once a month. And guys, for those of you that are new and don't know, train mores are a week where you have the opportunity, if you choose to take advantage of it, of getting with a lot of people. A lot of people in the company travel. They get away from home. They go rent an Airbnb with a bunch of people and go work 50, 60, 70 hours and blow their own mind and have a great week. We have not historically in our group traveled for train mores for lifestyle reasons, but that doesn't mean that you can't. Doesn't mean it's good or bad. It's just something that we've done. But I know group people in this organization have decided to do train mores here in the future, and I think we're going to have a big one coming up for PPW. Any other questions? Well, guys, I appreciate you guys hopping on today. It's 8:30 a.m. and we're going to wrap this thing up. Guys, I encourage everyone, take a look at where you are for your week so far. Take a look at your goal. To even go further back and take a look at your controllable goals, guys, and put in, what did you put down for your hours that you're committed to this week? What did you put down for your demos that you're committed to this week? And go ahead and decide right now if you're going to be able to get it all done by 5 or 6 p.m. today. And if you are, go for it. Get it done and enjoy your weekend. If you think you might need a little bit of time over the weekend to wrap that up, guys, get in the mental headspace today that you're going to do that your finish line is when your commitments are done, and you're going to like what your results are, guys. So, guys, no one that ever gave their best regretted it. So let's finish strong and let's do something today that our future selves will thank us for. Have a great day, you guys.
Thanks, you too.